All right, thank you very much, Rita. Yes, so as we've already stated, and Rita also re-emphasized, we are talking about cyber security this afternoon. So let me quickly share my slides and then we can just start. Please, can you all see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Good. Okay, so this is the outline that we are going to follow this afternoon. We'll look at what is cyber security, some key statistics that you need to be aware of, legal obligations for cyber security, why cyber security is very, very important for C-level executives, cyber security threats that are facing businesses. We focus on SMEs for now, and then we also look at cyber security hygiene or cyber hygiene. How do you protect yourself from the threats that we will talk about? Okay. As Rita said, these are a brief about us. I will share the slides, so I think you can have this later on about what we do, who we are, and all that. So the first question I would like to ask is, who has been hacked before? It could be your phone, it could be your social media account. So who has been hacked before? Anybody wants to open the floor? Anybody? Yes, I see 2 hands up. Okay, please go ahead.
Okay. Yes, so for me, this was something that happened around 2008 on my Facebook account. So I never knew something of that sort happened. I was just there and a friend called me and started laughing. I said, what is funny? And he said, what is that funny thing you've written on your Facebook account? I said, I haven't been to Facebook in about a month, so I don't think I'm the one you're talking about. And what was apparently written was not something I can repeat. It was, the words were very vulgar. So I just brushed it aside. Later on, I went to check, and lo and behold, it was there. And people were so surprised to see something like that on my wall. Some were making fun of me, others were insulting me, saying yes, someone was saying something like, I have changed, shame on me. I was like, how did this person manage to get my account? So what I did was to just change the password and then everything ceased. But that was my first time seeing something of that sort.
Wow. That was, I'm sure it was really hard for you. Really appreciate
yes.
how it all started.
Okay, I think how it started, I was on another site that demanded my Facebook password.
Okay.
I think that was where I went wrong. And then I was actually doing it on a friend's phone because I didn't have a laptop by then and I was on campus. So later on, it just clicked on my mind that no, that is the only place I have actually submitted my password. So that could have been the only way through which someone could have accessed my account.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, okay, we'll come to that. Yes, Marcus. I see your hand up, Marcus. I see Zion. Okay, Zion.
Yeah, hello, Marcus. This.
Okay, Marcus.
2018, I got hacked by these people. They sent me a link to follow.
Okay.
So I did, and they requested for a mobile money number, and that was uh, 2018, they requested for mobile money number, and I sent them my auntie's own phone. Then later on, they sent another link, so I should follow. So I thought I'm going to win again. So I used my auntie's number to register. Before I entered the game, they have transferred everything from my auntie's phone.
Wow.
It's money. Money.
How much was transferred so far?
Well, it was like 1,000 something.
Wow.
It nearly ended me in prison.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. That was a good experience for us to learn from this afternoon. Okay, so anybody else?
Okay.
Can we take the last person and then we move on? Okay. All right. So I think that's all let's continue with our discussion. Okay, so I'm going to share a brief case study with you on what can happen if you don't dispose of your device securely. It could be your mobile phone, it could be your laptop, PC, PDA, any device that you can think of that you connect to the internet. So there was a case by this gentleman called Davidson. Can you all see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. So we are saying that Davidson used a laptop to manage his business, to conduct banking, online banking, and also use his social media. One day, he decided to sell his laptop and buy a new laptop. So, as usual, Davidson didn't want the new buyer of the laptop to access his information. So he decided to delete all of his important files and folders on the laptop, and he logged out of his account. So he advertised the laptop online and he sold it to a new owner. A month later, Davidson was shopping for groceries or he was buying something online when his card declined at the checkout because it had insufficient funds. Davidson knew he was paid the day before, so definitely there should be money in his account. He tried to log into his online banking to see what happened, but his passphrase couldn't work or his password couldn't work because these hackers, as soon as they got access to his online banking, that was the first thing they would do. They quickly change the password so that you don't have access to it. So Davidson started to worry about that someone had logged into his banking account and stolen his money. Continuation of the case study. So we are asking, what will happen? Davidson used his old laptop for online banking, but he thought that his information was safe because he signed out of his laptop and deleted the files. I'm sure he didn't even go to the extent of deleting the recycle bin. Even if you delete the recycle bin, we the IT guys, we have a way of recovering all those files. So he deleted the file where he saved all of his passphrases or his passwords. Unfortunately, the person who bought the laptop or Davidson laptop was a cyber criminal. So they easily recovered all his deleted files, including the file with his password or his passphrase. They used the information they recovered to log into Davidson's bank account and stole or steal all his money. So the question we are asking is, what actions should Davidson have taken to keep his information or his bank account safe? So that is what we are going to do now. So our objective for this afternoon is that at the end of the day, or at the end of this session, you should be aware of the threats that businesses face or as individuals. You should also understand threats that can affect your business. And you should also be aware of the risks associated with the use of remote access. You sit in the house and then you can log into your university account, your bank account, wherever you are. What are the risks? If you are using your mobile phone, your mobile devices, what are the risks that are awaiting you? And you should also be aware of the implications of social media. Social media is very good. It's helping us do so many things for personal, for families, for businesses, all sorts of life. But it also has its implications. So how do you protect yourself using social media? And then also you need to understand the risk of improper management of personal and organizational files. Then lastly, know what to do if your data is stolen. If your online account like Davidson is breached, what do you do? As soon as you see it, what action do you do? Marcus was trying to play smart with these guys, but unfortunately he fell victim to the situation. So we'll see what to do when things like that happen. Okay. So back to my question that I had asked earlier. What is cyber security? Do we have anybody to try to attempt it? Prof was trying to tell us his expectation and the need for people to be conscious of cyber. So anybody else tell us what you know about cyber security? I have 39 people so far, so at least I can get some responses from 5 or 2 people. Anybody wants to try? Hello, are we all there?
Yes, let me try.
Okay, your name, please.
I'm Davis.
Okay, all right.
So I think cybersecurity has to do with protecting these internet connected systems that we have, like the hardware and softwares, from cyber threats or from potential threats.
Okay.
Basically, yeah.
Wow. I see Angela, my old classmate. Angela, tell us, what is cybersecurity?
Hello, Jake.
Yes, Angie.
I think she has said it all. So I also understand that it's a state of protecting your gadgets against criminals.
Okay. All right. Wow. Can okay, continue. Can we have one more person? Anybody? Okay. If there's nobody to talk again, I think I have a question. I think cyber. Okay, someone, Francis Oposu says that cyber security is a way of keeping safe all of IT and technology. Powerful. Okay, so as we all said, there's no right or wrong answer. We are all correct. Okay, so let's see what I have here for you. So we are saying that cybersecurity is the protection of devices, services, networks, and the information on them. So you can't do away with the information on them. Sometimes, like Davidson case, there was no device. Okay, yes, the laptop was a device, but he realized that the information that the hackers or the criminals were able to use was his password details. So that is the information we are talking about. So securing or protecting the devices, the services, and all the information of it is what we call cybersecurity. Cybersecurity is a subset of the overall information security. And when we talk of cybersecurity or information security, it looks at three main areas because the CIA, that is the confidentiality of information or assets, information assets, the integrity, and the availability. So the confidentiality simply means that if you are not required or you are not entitled to access a particular information, don't go near it at all. So in the case of Davidson, for instance, those who had access to his password were criminals. They could be arrested because they are not authorized. They are not authorized people to access it. Integrity means wholeness, means that the information that I have, if my bank account has 100,000 balance, it should be 100,000 cedis balance or dollars at any point in time, unless I make some withdrawal. Under no circumstance should my balance reduce or, without any prior notice. Another example is if I'm sending an email or a letter to somebody, to a business partner or to a customer or my board member, whoever, and under no circumstance should the information that I'm sending be altered in any way. If that happens, then the integrity function is compromised. In terms of availability of information, what we mean is that at any point in time, my information assets should be available. So for instance, if I want to check my online banking account, under no circumstance should the bank tell me, oh, sorry, our ATM is out of use, or there's no money in the vending machine. Availability means at all points in time, 365 days, 24 hours, every time that I need information, it should be available for me. The same way, social media, if you want to access anything, once you have internet, you can access anything you want. So availability should be always available or should be always functional. Okay, so now the question we are asking is, why should C-level executives or top-level managers, executives be concerned about cyber security? Can we have somebody to share his or her view? Why should managers, directors, even the supervisors be concerned about cyber security? Anybody can talk. Who wants to open the floor? I have 38 people on there. Who wants to talk? Why should managers, directors, CEOs, board members be concerned about cyber security?
Well, thank you, Mr. Jacob. I think if you are looking at it from this executive level, then we are looking at those who own businesses or those who manage. And therefore, if you ask your customers to use an app that the organization has developed to facilitate the transactions between you, the organization, and the customers, then you should be concerned such that if they are paying for something that they have agreed to. The money should reach you. At the same time, they should also be confident that the communication between the organization and the customers is secure, such that no third party or any person who is not involved should hear it or should get access to it. Particularly when money is involved, because the motive of all the criminals, I think that you can't rule out the financial gain. And so once money is involved, protection is key, both for the organization and also for clients or customers in that perspective. The other side, I think, is data. Of course, we need to protect data, so the information on individuals or what they need to provide should be secure. And so for me, on these two levels, cybersecurity is key: finance aspect and also data, or information about people should be protected in the way that they want it to be protected. And that is why cybersecurity for me is important.
Prof, I think you summed it up very, very powerful. Yeah, so let's take it this way. Let's take a typical CEO or a typical managing director or a typical, these two category of people. Assuming a CEO loses his or her business phone or the laptop, what do you think are some of the implications? Let's use this scenario for instance. In addition to what Prof just shared with us. Okay, so somebody, that's the same Francis. Francis again says that top level executives are the key drivers and the engine of the business. I like that. So if they are attacked, the whole business is at risk, or the whole business has been attacked. Powerful. Francis, thank you so much for your point. The business, he continues saying that the business will collapse. Powerful. Any other view apart from what Prof and Francis have said? Yes. Can I have a lady's voice? Then we can move on. Yes, Zina, you can talk.
Yeah, I also think that some information that the CEO is having on his laptop or computer may also be lost or damaged, and it can negatively affect the business that the person is actually running.
Thanks so much, Zita. And let's take a typical Ghanaian SME. Most SME, Ghanaian SME or business owners, they do almost everything, but some of them don't have enough capital to recruit, say, finance director or accountant, market. So they more or less, they are 360 degree, they do everything. So a typical business owner like that loses his or her laptop. Okay, I have Kwame Afeti says that when the laptop of the CEO is stolen, the company can easily fall into the hands of the one that stole the laptop. That is the ransomware. We'll be talking about that. Because of all the information about the company and his personal information can be accessed. Powerful. Kwame, thank you so much. I think you are ahead of us. We'll talk about ransomware very soon. Okay, so as I was saying, a typical business owner in Ghana has all the information. Their laptop, everything is on the information. Everything is on the laptop. So when a business owner like that loses his or her laptop, sometimes you wouldn't lose the laptop. The hard disk will decide not to work, and you lose everything that you have. If you are not lucky and you've not back up your data online, means that you come to ground zero. You don't have anything. Rita is laughing here because somebody had a similar incident some time ago in our office. Okay, so now let's move on and see. So what we are saying is that 84% of C-level executives say that they have been targeted by at least one cyber attack in the past year. Because they have a whole lot of information, they are always the target. Some of the C-level executives also say that IT leaders say that C-suite or C-level is the most likely to be targeted by phishing attacks. We look at phishing attack as well. 76% of CEOs admit they bypass security protocols to get something done faster. Assuming you are a security officer and your CEO wants some information, and going through the process would take like 1 hour, you might be tempted to allow him to bypass the process. And by doing so, you are keeping yourself vulnerable to the bad guys out there. So these are some of the things we are talking about. Angela is saying that CEOs or C-level executives have important information that could be linked to its competitors or criminal who could affect the business. So what she's saying is that some executives have powerful information which a competitor can get access to it. We will also talk about insider attack. Angela is also ahead of us. She's talking about insider attack, where an ex-employee or aggrieved employee decides to sabotage the organization. So they sell the information, the company's secrets to competitors for something small. And that is a big issue. Thank you so much, Angela. Okay, so now having looked at why C-level executives should take security very, very important, seriously. Now let's look at some of the threats or some of the issues that small businesses or businesses as a whole should be aware of, should take care of, so that they be able to manage their security issues effectively. So the first one I want to talk about is the statistics which I have here. You have the slide so we can read about it. But we are saying that 60% of cyber attacks are on small businesses. The reason why small businesses are on always the target is that most small businesses, once you hit them small, they will collapse. They can't recover. For instance, if a typical small business in Ghana is hacked by cyber criminals and they are demanding ransomware of say $100,000 US or 50,000 or 20,000 US dollars, definitely your capital is not even up to that. So you can't do anything about it. So because the cyber criminals know this, they always target the small businesses. So you can read the statistics once you get the slides. Okay, so the first attack or the first issue that we want to look at is social engineering. Social engineering simply means that somebody sitting somewhere is impersonating, trying to, for instance, Professor Tufuo is a lecturer, economic lecturer at UPSC. So somebody is able to mimic Professor Tufuo as Professor Tufuo, and then they can use his credentials, his information to dupe somebody. That is what we are talking about, social engineering. Social engineering comes in various formats. I want to look at phishing attack. So another one is insider attacks. We will look at it. Another one is malware. The next one is password attack, ransomware attack, mobile devices attack, and threats in the cloud. Okay, so now let's take them one by one and see what we can learn from this. So in terms of social engineering, we are saying that this gentleman there, he is saying that he is called John. So he says, this is John, the system administrator. what is your password? So once you know that you work with John, and John is also the system administrator, definitely you will tell him your password, and then you are fallen victim. Another format of social engineering is in person, whereby, for example, these two ladies, so he's asking, what ethnicity are you? Your mother's maiden name. So once he is able to get this information, then he can use it, he can process it, come back to you and attack you. In terms of email, as you can see here, this gentleman says that, hello, ABC Bank has noticed a problem with your account and have some lovely software patches. I have come to repair your machine. So he says that he is a consultant. He's coming to repair the machine. So if you have not been trained as to how to recognize these people, then they will be able to dupe you. So we are saying that social engineering attack manipulate people into performing actions or divulging confidential information. Similar to confidence trick or simple fraud, the term applies to the use of deception to gain information, commit fraud, or access computer system. Okay, so phishing attack, as we said earlier, is simply about fake email. People are using these days, as we can see, we are all getting fake emails here and there. So we are saying that phishing attack is by far the most common security threat or cyber attack that SMEs are facing, because SMEs don't have much money to purchase proper email addresses. Anything cheap goes for them, and when that happens, they can easily be attacked. Let's look at some illustrations here. So phishing. So as you can see here, eBay says that this dear eBay customer, during our regularly scheduled account maintenance and verification procedures, we have detected a slight error in your billing information. So now they are going to ask for information. So if you don't know and you commit and provide them the information, that's the end of you. They will take anything and everything that they have. Let's look at another one, PayPal. So as you can see from here, say the compromised account. This is the email, date and stuff. So dear email, dear Joe student, as you can see here, we regret to inform you of this bad news. We have put your account in the list of limited accounts because your account is safe, and we need a little bit to a few information to protect your account. Click the link below and follow the steps simply. Yours sincerely. Again, if you don't know their trick, you fall prey to them, and then they can easily get whatever they want. Let's look at the last one. It's about job. These days, a lot of people are looking for jobs. So as you can see here, job placement and student services, then the address, the stuff. So as soon as you see it, oh, this is genuine. If you are not lucky and you click the link, as soon as you click the link, they have programmed everything that the software behind the scene will take over your system. It will be working behind your scene, and then they can even corrupt your hard disks and your whole system. Nothing can work. Any questions so far before I continue? So we've spoken about social engineering and we've zoomed into the phishing attack. I've given you 3 instances where phishing attack can happen to you. Any question, any experience of any of these that we've spoken about? I have 38 people. Anybody wants to talk? Or we can move on. I have a chat message. Somebody is waiting. How can you identify a fake website? Angela. Okay, so how can you identify a fake website? Anybody wants to answer Angela's question? How can you identify a fake website? Or if you have a experience, you can, yeah.
I think I can try.
Okay, Ben, try.
You know, when you take a look at the URL of a website,
That is
there is there is a prefix HTTPS. That's the hypertext protocol. With some websites, you see S attached to the HTTPS, meaning it's secured. Websites which are not secure do not have the S. And normally, when you're using a Chrome browser, it will alert you that this website is not secured. So any information you put there can be hacked. So that's what I know about secured and not secured websites.
Okay, thanks so much, Ben. I was going to go about that. Okay, yeah.
Good afternoon.
Yes.
Can I? Yeah. So another thing you should do is copy the URL, put it on Google, put a space, put plus sign, put a space, scam or fraud. If that company or that organization are involved in criminal activities, reviews about them will pop up on Google.
Okay. Oh. Okay, so I think can you repeat it? I think some people didn't hear it well. My friend,
you put the URL on Google, www or HTTPS on Google.
Okay.
You put space, you put the plus sign, you put space, then you put keywords like scam or fraud. Then you press enter. So if they're involved in criminal activities or they have been scammed, Google will index you to complaints and report about the websites and all that, so that you know if you should continue with them or you should leave them. Okay. Secondly, you can try Virus Total to also scan the URL too.
Okay, thank you so much, Don. Angie, are you okay now?
Yeah, yes, I'm okay. Thank you.
Yeah,
thank you very much.
Always look at the URL. And sometimes when the phishing email is coming, sometimes they just change, like Ben said, just a letter or the logo. You see, once it's fake, you can easily, if you compare the two logos or the two, you can easily see that this one there's question mark on it. Then so you have to really pay attention. Okay, so I have Zoka. Zoka also says that why should cyber criminals target small scale enterprises instead of bigger ones? They can easily collect ransom from. Okay, can anybody answer Zoka as well? Some small businesses have money. Zoka.
Hello.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, so I'll try and then answer this one.
Nigel, okay.
Yeah, so cyber criminals target small scale enterprises because most of the time a lot of them don't have the resources in terms of when it comes to online protection, or they don't have the IT technical team to secure their systems. So it's easier to get to them than getting to the bigger organizations. So I think that is why sometimes they target the small, enterprises than the bigger ones. On the other hand, the one targeting the company doesn't have the enough technical skills to be able to break into the bigger systems. So the fastest way is to go for the smaller ones, and then it works out for them.
Oh, okay. Any other contribution? I think he has said it all. Any other contribution? Zoka, are you okay, or you need further clarification?
Yeah, I'm okay. I'm okay. Thank you. I'm just thinking of if the bigger ones can be, if the cyber criminals really want money, why is it that they cannot target the bigger ones instead of the smaller enterprises? That was my thinking before I posted the question.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And then also to add to, you see, as there's a saying that experience is the best teacher. So once they are able to hack into the small ones, they can easily learn more strategies to scale up higher and bigger, attack bigger enterprises. Okay, thank you very much. So now let's move on to the next one, which is insider attack or insider threat. This one is simply that an ex-employee, for instance, your employer sacked you in a bizarre way, or your employer, for some reason, you were not happy with your employer, so you left the organization not happy. So you decide to take revenge. So all we are saying is that an insider, or it could even be a current employee who is feeding a competitor insider information. And this is a very serious threat that businesses are battling with. So we are saying that an insider is any employee, trusted person or people who have access to critical access of an organization. And insider attack involve using privileged access to intentionally violate rules or cause threats to the organization's information systems. And then we are also saying that such attacks are generally performed by a privileged user, a disgruntled employee, terminated employee, accident-prone employee, third party. Third party too is very, very important. For instance, in your organization, you have another organization who provides services to you. So from time to time, for instance, these cleaners and stuff, from time to time, they provide services to you. So for a cleaner, for instance, if you don't have what we call the clear desk policy, some employees leave confidential information anyhow on their desks. And a cleaner can easily access confidential information and then sell it to a competitor. Or if they want to scale an attack on you, then they can tell you to pay a ransom before they stop whatever they want to do. Else, before you realize, they've leaked everything. Assuming you, for some reason, you decide they have some sexual information about you and somebody else, and they are demanding money, and you are not able to pay it. Before you realize, they will embarrass you. Everything will be on the internet. So insider attack is very, very important. So we are saying that some of the reasons they do that is that it's for a financial gain. Some also want to steal confidential information, sell it to a competitor. Others want to just take revenge. Others also want to become future competitor. So they want to do that. Others also are doing what we call competitors bidding. So somebody has paid them, so they are doing that. So it is very, very important that as a business owner, whether large or small, you take very serious attention on insider threats. Okay, I think we can move on. Types of insider threats, we have them here. I think we can have this, the slides and read more. So now, a typical example. So this is a disgruntled employee who is having company secret. And this is a company network. So the disgruntled employee here is sending the information or the data to competitors using stenography. Stenography is the act of hiding information on something. So he's sending it, but you wouldn't see because he or she has hidden the information. Before we realize it has become a big news. Assuming a big company like any of the banks in Ghana or MTN, any of these companies face an issue like this, the implication is a lot. One of them, or even if a bank or a hospital. Let me take a hospital, a private hospital like Nyaho Clinic, for instance. A patient who has HIV information is leaked. You realize that the patient, number one, can sue Nyaho. Number two, Nyaho has to pay compensation. Number three, the what we call the goodwill, the reputational damage that is going to cause Nyaho, for instance, is huge. And if it's a bank, for instance, then people will a panic withdrawal. People will be withdrawing their money fast. You remember there was this microfinance company which a policeman assaulted a certain lady, a woman. What was the name? Forgotten. Anybody remember that issue?
Yeah, I remember.
What was the name of the microfinance company?
I can't. I don't think it's advisable to.
I think it's Allied. Okay. I think it's Allied Bank.
It's not, but it's not Allied. But like our brother said, we won't mention the name. But you realize that the company faced a lot of, and everybody was a lot of panic withdrawal. Everybody was withdrawing their money from the company. The company in the end had to. I think it's Midland. Yeah, had to pay a lot of compensation to the woman. They even built her 2-bedroom apartment and whole lot of stuff. And they realized that the reputational damage, because as an employee decided to record the act, which was not lawful for the employee to do that. So that employee, for instance, in this case, really caused the organization a lot of damage. So it is important that we take care of that. Malware talks about viruses, Trojan horses, worms, and all those things that can infect into your laptop. Once it enters your laptop, then it can be eaten into your laptop, and before you realize, it has caused a whole lot of stuff. You can't really access your laptop. They also install some software behind the scene, which will take some vital information from you. So it is important that you take care and manage malware. And then the next one is password attack. Some of us, we like using small or easy password because we can easily forget. So we easy to guess password, your name and the 1, 2, 3 and stuff. Once we do that, it really people can easily access it, and then they can use it, just like the case of Davidson. I'm sure if he had used a powerful password, or he had changed his password frequently, or even on the day of selling the laptop, if he had changed the password and stuff, things like that wouldn't have happened to him. So it is important that we take care of our passwords. Some of us too, we write our passwords on the wall, on our desks, and easy places. We have to put a stop to it, because password alone can cause you a whole lot of issues. The ransomware, as we said earlier, the ransomware simply is in a non-IT aspect or non-IT field. Somebody can kidnap somebody, and then they say, come and pay money before we release the person. So if you take it to IT world, then some vital information that your business depends on can go or can come into the hands of attackers, and they will demand a ransom, an amount which you need to pay. If you are not able to pay, then they can spread the information, they can sell it and do so many things, and in the end it will go against your business. You don't want to do that. So we are saying that a typical solution is that you will have effective cloud backup, so that in case you are hacked and you can't access your system, and the only way you can access your system is to pay a ransom. Once you have a backup online, then you can forget about them. But if you don't have, then you are compelled to pay that ransom, and that is a lot of money as compared to the few dollars that you can pay monthly to have their backup online so for you. And then again, mobile attack, devices attack, smartphones, tablets, all those devices. These days, we also use a lot of, we call something called bring your own device. In most of the organizations, they allow employees to use their own laptops to work. So the employees take the laptop home. Everywhere they find themselves, they have their laptops. So you realize that company confidential information will be on the laptop. And if care is not taken, especially if there's no mobile device policy in place, the employee will bring the organization into a difficult situation. So it is important that we take care of all this so that we're able to manage our information. Okay. Then the last one is threats in the cloud. Cloud computing, as we all know and we've all heard about, is helping us a lot. Today, you can decide to buy or subscribe to a software, and then you are good to go. Your business can do well. Unlike the days you needed something small, but because you had to buy the whole package or build the whole package in-house, then you are not able to do much. But today, because of cloud computing, we are able to do a lot online. And because of also that, hackers, and there are a lot of threats, online threats that are available or that are facing us. One of them is called the denial of service attack, whereby the hackers deny you access to, for instance, you are logging into your online portals or online platforms. UPSA, for instance, you have our learning module. So every student of UPSA, and these days, all the universities, once you have your password username, you can access it. During exams time, for instance, hackers can decide to operate this denial of service attack to make sure that no student is able to log into their portal, especially when we have take-home exams. You are done with your exams, you are about to submit it online. There's no means to submit because the hackers have denied you access. It is important that as we adopt cloud storage platforms, it is important that we put in the necessary controls also in place so that we'll be able to protect our business and ourselves. So now let's look at how we can protect ourselves from all these threats that we spoke about. Before I come to this section, I think this is the last section of our presentation. Any questions so far or any contribution before I come to this section? I have 36 participants. Any contribution, any question, anything that you want to add? Who wants to talk? Any personal experience like Davidson had? Hello, everyone. Are you all there?
Yes, we are here.
Okay. Oh, I should move on. I have 2 messages. Please, how do you prevent insider attack, malware attack? Okay. How can I protect myself online? Okay. Don, we will come to your point. So, Rita, yeah, so to prevent insider attack, one of the things you have to do is what we call information security policy. You have to have a policy in place. Every employee, before they join the organization, they sign the policy. They sign the policy that this information, that information is confidential. If any employee breach such policy, then they can be punished or they can be penalized. Some other way to protect insider attack is also to make sure that only authorized people have access to certain information. For instance, IT privileges should only be handled by a certain number of IT people. It's not everybody in the IT department who should have access to certain information. And if the organization can also afford, there's a need to also have information security officer in place to take care of all your issues relating to information security. In terms of malware, there are a lot of things you can do. One of them is to have antivirus software in place so that the antivirus will scan your laptop from time to time. Some of us, we have antivirus on our laptops, but it's not working. Some of them, most of them are programmed automatically. So once you are using it, you're online, then your antivirus will be checking your viruses. Again, you also have to pay attention to the kind of website that you visit, some links that you open, some downloads. Some of us, we like downloading a lot. Once we see the video now, we download. Most of those things bring these issues. So you have to really take care, make sure that you download videos, stuff from authorized and trusted websites and sources, and then make sure that your antivirus is working perfect. How can I protect myself? Don, we are coming to this session. Any more questions? Okay, so let me quickly move on.
Hello.
Yes.
Yeah, sorry for the interruption. When you are talking about insider attack, or the question is, how do you prevent insider attack? The first thing that comes into mind is the human, the system.
Okay.
So you have policies in place that protect company information, the flow of company information, and all that. But then we have intentions. Someone, one way or the other, no matter how tight the policy is, someone has the intention of leaking information. You get it?
Yeah.
So I think that is where the question or the answer to the question should be directed to. First of all, you aside the policies, there should be monthly assessments.
Okay.
Every employee is compelled to write an assessment every month.
Okay.
And then also there should be cameras installed in place to monitor behaviors of employees, because you don't know where or how someone is going to access certain kind of information and then leak. No matter how secure the information is, one way or the other, they can still get to the information. So we should dig deeper into how we can really prevent insider attack when it comes to information protection and security.
Thank you very much, Nigel. Thank you. Our point. Yeah, very, very important. Okay, any contribution?
Okay. So what I would love to add is frequently when the password of organizations should be changed.
Okay.
And you should really keep it, you should really be in line with the secured principles when it comes to passwording and all that. Then if an employee is sacked, please always change the credentials of that person. If possible, disable the credentials totally.
Okay.
Because sometimes employees are sacked 6 months, but their passwords still work on your infrastructures, and they still once in a while check their web mails and all that.
Yeah.
It's really risky.
Yeah.
Then do background check on everybody you employ.
Okay.
So if he or she has some criminal element in their past employment, you should be able to find out those things and know the kind of security privilege you give to them. Sensitive infrastructures like thumbprints, door locks, all those things should be changed frequently. Because if an employee has left the organization 5 years and you're still using 1, 2, 3, 4 as your safe lock, definitely the person can use that or share that information to some other person to go take sensitive information from your storeroom.
Yeah.
So all these things should be changed frequently.
Don, thanks so much. I think you've summarized it all. To add to what he said, in terms of, you see it a lot in Ghana that the person has left the organization and for instance, their profile is still on the company's website. One day I had to write to a certain insurance company. The CEO left the organization long ago, but on the website, it was still stating that this man is the CEO of the organization, or the profile of it. So anybody can use those information to do so many things. So it is important that as soon as the person leaves the organization, you terminate all their logical access, including their profiles on your corporate information, the website, the company's profile, and everything. So Don, thanks so much. That was a very powerful contribution. Any other points? Okay, so the first way that you can protect yourself online, my brother, somebody asked, how do I protect myself online? We are saying that as a manager, as a leader in your organization, you take the lead on implementation and compliance of corporate security policies. Every organization, well, in small businesses, most of them don't have security policies in place. But once you have it, then there's a need to comply. See to it that the information security policy is working. Sometimes you develop the policy all right, but the implementation and then the compliance of it becomes an issue. So we see to it that it is properly implemented and complied with. And then those offenders should be penalized. Once they are penalized in terms of prosecution and thereabout, then it will serve as a punitive measure to others not to do the same. We are also saying that you should use strong and, as Don said, use strong and different passwords across all accounts and devices, including laptops, desktops, mobile devices, emails, and stuff. Use two-factor authentication wherever it is possible. Avoid inserting external storage devices into a laptop or computer. This brings a lot of viruses, pen drive, and all those stuff. Once it is not sanitized by the organization, you should, under no circumstance, should allow a stranger or somebody who is not an employee, or even an employee, so you should have a policy on external storage device, external hard drive, pen drives, and all those things should not just be, you should not allow them to be entering, using it to copy information here and there. So there should be measures in place with regards to that. You're also saying that your firewall, which is set to monitor your network before people can access your corporate network, should be in place, and you should also make sure that it's working. There's one thing to procure it, there's another thing to see that it's working properly. Again, ensure that you have antivirus, anti-malware solution, also working as expected. So as you can see, the working and implementation is very, very important, because there's one thing to have it, and there's another thing to see to it that it is doing what it is expected to do. Do not download any type of files from untrusted sources. Avoid opening or interacting with emails that you are not expecting or have not communicated earlier. This is the phishing solution. any unexpected incident or abnormal behavior of systems and applications should be reported immediately to the respected or concerned team. For instance, you realize that at 12 midnight, the company's network has, you get an alert that somebody decided or attempted to log into the company network and per your company policies, and nobody is expected to access the network or particular information at that particular moment. They realize that at that particular time, there should be a suspicion that you must think of. So you have to report to the person who is supposed to take charge immediately so that they can do something before the unexpected happens. Limit the sharing of information on social media platforms. It's very, very important. Some of us, we share everything about our children, their school, everything. So if someone wants to kidnap your child, for instance, they can just go to social media, study the information you put there, the trend. So because they have every information, and then criminals, they take their time. Somebody can take like 6 months, 1 year to study a pattern. So when they launch the attack, it becomes high profile. So it is important that though social media is helping us, we must know what kind of information we want to put there, and then the content, and then the level of information and stuff. Very, very important. And then lastly, we should also follow the organization's information sharing guidelines concerning sharing of company news and updates. Some organizations don't even want to share their clients' details. In some website, you see the company displaying our list of clients. Some organizations don't want to do that at all, because once they do that, competitors can easily go and steal their customers using various strategies here and there. So it is important that you take care of all this. In addition to all that we've said, in terms of malware, you can suspect it or you can detect it by observing some of these things. It says that changes to your browser homepage or the start page, ending up a strange site. Once you are on the website that you've opened, before you realize there was a link. Once you were clicking something, then you click that, then it takes you to a different website. So if you don't take care, you think that you are in a legitimate website doing or conducting business as you want to. For instance, you are buying something, and then so as you are typing your card details, the dates, the CVC number, and all those things, they are also monitoring it. I remember there was a time 7 years ago, somebody in London, somebody bought this calling card. You know, when you are there, you want to buy card, you load it, and then we called people in Ghana. So I was sitting beside the person. So when he bought the card, he was telling somebody the number, mentioning the numbers to somebody. Once he mentioned, then I also enter it. So as soon as he finished, I had all the numbers. So I quickly type and I use this thing. I use some of the credit. That was not good. But the same way, people online are monitoring your bank details, your financial records here and there. So it is important that you follow these steps to protect yourself in your business. Again, in terms of password usage, you want to make sure that your passwords are not easy to remember, but it's hard to guess. So we are saying that as a standard practice, be at least 10, your password should be at least 10 characters in length, must contain uppercase letter, lowercase letter, numbers, and then special characters like this. So for instance, a password. Okay, so for instance, something like a password like research. So research, you should have capital letters somewhere. You should have some numbers somewhere. You should have some special letters somewhere. People shouldn't be able to guess it. And you don't have to use your name or part of the user's name, and also your children's name, birthdays, addresses and stuff. You should not be using those for your password. If you do that, you are putting yourself at risk. Another formula for the password, they're saying that a similar code can be a good start. Love is a smoke made with. So this is what somebody is using for their password. It can easily be guessed. Okay. You can read all this later on. Okay. In terms of, again, if you want to identify security compromises, same things, some of the same things are what we are showing here. Antivirus software detects a problem. So if you don't have antivirus software, it means that there are certain things your laptop cannot detect. Your disk space disappears. When a disk space disappears, then it means that there's some, okay, somebody is asking, Abdul, our use of CCTV installation is another sector we should improve. Abdul, can you elaborate on this point for us? Abdul, are you there?
Hello.
Yes.
Yes, I'm there. On
Okay.
that point, I just want to put, the CCTV camera is there to monitor activities of workers. But some companies, they install the CCTV camera without a permanent person behind this CCTV camera to constantly monitor it. And they only visit the records of these CCTV cameras when something happens. And at that time, the harm has already been caused.
Yeah.
So companies should be able to have a constant monitoring of this CCTV camera at any point in time. I can remember somebody made a point that we should install cameras to monitor the activities of our workers. Fine, these cameras can be installed, all right. But at the end of the day, there should be somebody constantly behind these monitors, checking each and everybody. But other companies will install these cameras and wait for the harm to be caused before they visit to see whoever caused that. So I think the sector in our CCTV monitoring should actually be improved so that we'll be able to arrest situations before they happen. Thank you. That's just the small thing I just.
Powerful. And you have a partner. Nigel is saying that he's 100% in agreement with what you just said. Powerful. So the problem is that we are easily motivated to buy the thing or implement the thing, but like you said, having someone, a dedicated person to manage it, and sometimes you even have a dedicated person to manage it, but as to whether they are using the report, reviewing what is happening is another thing. So it is important that we don't end at implementing it or installing it. We should regularly see to it that we are monitoring and taking action. If that is done, then we are good to go. Okay, I think you can read this as well. I'm ending up in terms of antivirus. There are a lot you can also follow. Defense in depth. There's a message. Okay, Philip Latte. I suggest we add recorders to our machines and devices to give a quick record. Philip, can you? I'm not getting you. Can you elaborate on what you mean? Is Philip there? Hello, Philip. Okay, let's go on. To help us to have records if we need a support. Okay, so he's saying that his network is bad. I suggest we add recorders to our machines. So he's saying that our machines in our offices and workplaces, we should have recorders and devices to give a quick record to help us to have records if we need a support. Okay, so that it serves as a backup and supporting. You know, when you are doing any, you are presenting any legal issue, you must always have record on record to support whatever you are putting forward. So that is what he's saying. So that once we are able to record what is happening on our laptops and our devices, then we'll be able to support it if there's a need for legal thing to take. Okay, thank you so much. I think at this stage, I'm wrapping up. In terms of social engineering, I've already spoke about that. Secure transaction, Benjamin said it earlier on. These days, if you are checking, you're buying something online special, and the website doesn't have most of them is HTTP. If there's no X, it means that the site is not secure. And if it's not secure, it means that you are at risk if you put in your card details. So you always make sure that at the top of the website bar, top left side, you will see this there, HTTPS. Once you see it, then you can rest assured that at least there's some security in place. If not, don't conduct transaction online. Okay. So we have a lot of courses for you to enjoy. All you have to do is to sign up. You can take a session like measures to protect yourself, information, the practical aspect, know what to do if your identity is stolen, how to dispose of your device securely. Like we took a case of Davidson. How do you do it in terms of doing it practical way? How to implement online security policies in your organization in a practical way. All that we have said is more or less giving you the information. How do you implement it? You need to do any of this, you can contact us. I'll be glad to help. In terms of our cyber security services, we are into cyber risk assessment. If you want to perform any cyber security risk assessment, you want to purchase some IT systems and you need to do some assessment to know the viability, we can also help. In terms of incidents, if there is a breach, how do you handle it? We'll be able to help you. Network security services, policies and procedural written. Our team are available to support. In terms of training, like we are doing, if you want to train your organization, your staff, anybody, you can rely on us to be able to give you targeted training that will enable you to meet your goals. Then in terms of vendor management, your third parties, how do you do due diligence on them? We can have a strategy for you to function effectively. So I think that is the end of our presentation. Before we hand over, these are our contact details. There's a questionnaire, online questionnaire, security assessment. All that we have spoken about this afternoon. There's a message. Let me quickly read. This hope is accredited. Who is that? Philip, can you? Is that hope is accredited? What do you mean, please? Sam, you have a question. Please go ahead.
Yeah,
Philip,
thank you very much for. Yeah, thank you very much for a very wonderful presentation, very educative. However, I'd like to find out, I put it in the chat box, but I don't think it's addressed. You gave some very lovely statistics, and you know that these statistics have to be backed by the source. So I just wanted to find out the source of the statistics.
Okay, the source of the statistics.
Yes.
In fact,
so which research was it based on? Like, where is it coming from? Because anybody can just give this information.
Yeah, so what I would do is that, in fact, the statistics that we pick from are from various security vendors' website. So what I will do is that I will provide you, after here, I'll provide you further information to where you can really get some of these statistics. But they were all picked from credible security vendors. Yeah, if I should put it that way.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll wait for that. Okay, thank you.
Your name again, please.
My name is Sam.
Sam, okay, Sam. All right. There's a question here.
Okay, so to send the information to me, you would use you in the form I fill is Dr. Samuel Okai.
Okay. So
you can send it to me here.
Okay, yeah. Dog. I will send you this information.
Thanks.
Okay, so please, thank you so much for the question, Dog. Please, any other question? Someone is asking, please, Hope is accredited under Ghana Education or by the Security Board. Please, what do you mean by accredited? If you can, Philip, if you can come again, whilst we are waiting for Philip. So all that we've spoken about, there's assessment, security assessment for you to do on your business to see where you are. So we are saying that enables you to protect yourself, your clients, your business, and relevant business assets. So if you are interested in this online self-assessment questionnaire, it basically questions that you answer. Once you are done with the answers, then we will provide you with the rating of your responses, and then it tells you at which stage are you in your business in terms of information security readiness. Okay. Okay. So I'm ending here. I think I will pause for one or two more questions, and then we can wrap up. Is there any question for us, or any contribution, or any suggestion? Are we all there? I have 28 people so far. Any question, any contribution before we wrap up? Okay. So if there's nothing to add, then thank you very much for joining this webinar. We will reach out to you if there's anything that you want from us as well. You can reach us on our various communication platforms. Have a blessed day, and thank you so much.